And welcome to 2-Minute Tips for Healthy Beauty and Confident Aging. I'm Sharon Danley, and this channel's focus is on inner beauty and outer beauty through simplicity, strength, style, and grace. And before we go any further, I just want to make sure that we've got everything on side. You can see and hear okay. I'm just checking some tech stuff here. If somebody could just give me a thumbs up to let me know that you're on or that you can see or whatever, that would be fabulous. Okay, thank you so much. Alrighty, today we're going to be talking about trends in and culture and how they influence makeup and hair for women and girls, followed by our usual Q&A. So why don't we just jump right into it? Trends and cultural influences, followed by a little demonstration, which was kind of fun to do. Now, I realize the following may be a contentious issue for some, but after my considered pondering of the subject, I feel it needs to be addressed. Observations are critical in order to educate ourselves on our best and correct makeup and hair approach, especially for the maturing femme fatale, as we are given little to no attention for our specific needs and challenges. This has nothing to do with politics or how any of us may feel about the subject, but it is about the influence on our makeup, hair, and wardrobe. I repeat, not political. That's reserved for my YouTube advocacy channel or my Facebook page, Sharon's Soapbox. So, what is influence? According to Ms. Webster, she pronounces it as impact, sway, prestige, authority, mastery, domination, guidance, supremacy, direction, or pressure. In other words, words influence, and they can be positive or negative. Because of what has happened a number of times on my Facebook beauty page recently, and the general concerns of the citizenry for women and young girls and kids, I feel it's important to speak to this issue with our broader audience, and that is the influence of the drag culture and trans models being rolled out across the beauty industry on women's and girls about our beauty. This is strictly about how we women are being pushed to be influenced by men who dress as women, making a mockery of womanhood, or in other words, woman face, just like blackface mocks. Why would real women want to look like a man pretending to look like a woman? Seriously, please just think about it. By following these trends, we enable them, and we enable the trend to continue mocking women and girls. We look foolish rather than empowered and beautiful for whatever age we are at. When we follow these trends, we should be healthily proud of every wrinkle, every gray hair, and every pore. There are badges of courage, honor, and a life well lived on our individual life's journey. Among adults, I used to teach children modeling, voice, and presentation for auditions. Without a doubt, 80% needed some little kind of makeup tweakage for their camera-ready look in order to compete against hundreds of other kids in the audition process for a part or a commercial. But I kept it age and sex appropriate. And the kids and their parents always loved what I did because you simply couldn't tell the children were wearing any makeup. Drag queens and trans models. Again, I ask, why would a woman want to look like a man pretending to be a woman? And there are so many other reasons not to follow the trends from males who happen to run these cosmetics and magazine corporations and their clear, unattainable visions of women's makeup, hairstyling, and wardrobe to keep us constantly dissatisfied with ourselves. A man, no matter how pretty we are propagandized to think he looks, he is still a man with male features, and that's all I will say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. The rest can be found in the other places as stated previously, and links are shown in the Show More notes below. What has happened in the last year especially is an enormous surge of pushing the trans and drag looks, not only the makeup and hair, but the hypersexualized approach to wardrobe. Lip fillers are huge. Eyebrow shapes and arches have gone off the charts, and false lashes that are so heavy a sudden gust of wind could have you flying are the theme now. Now, here is the bottom line, ladies. Following these trends, a whole new and growing market has been opened for drag, trans, and the highly marketed and growing feminized male looks. And of course, both men and women will ante up to spend more and more money to get the look. I've listed in the Show More below this video other videos I've done on what makeup is and what it isn't. Beauty is more than lipstick. Fashion influences on brows. And on my advocacy YouTube channel, Child Drag Queens, Toddler Beauty, Pageants, and Tween Makeup Gurus. And I just discovered has a second copyright strike against it where there's simply absolutely no copyright infringement. So it's being investigated. So, given the subject of how we are currently and strongly being influenced, I decided to put myself through the spa for a change and show the power of makeup and just how far we can be influenced into going along with this push, backed by the beauty and plastic surgery multi-million-dollar industries to chase after the elusive, the silly, and the unattainable. First up is myself showing how, using the exact same products, one can age or beautify in a natural way. And there was no special effects used in any of these. So let me get rid of my own mugshot first, shall we? And then I will bring up a before picture. Now, this is just me, my regular self without makeup or anything and my hair pulled back. Now here I am, where I've aged myself even more and where I've beautified myself. I've used exactly the same products and the same tools and just applied different techniques. There's quite a difference, isn't it? It shows you the power of makeup. And when corrections need to be done for any number of things, like people want to cover their tattoos or, domestic abuse issues or facial differences, it can make a difference. So now let's take a look at another version of me, a little bit bigger one. And I'm bringing in this picture here. This is a picture I used in the 2015 campaign in Canada where I ran for federal politics. Now, it's a little bit more than I would wear normally because it was for a picture, but you get the idea. This took about 10 minutes to do. Notice how I have given myself some brows and raised that right one. I've, defined my lips well. And I've added some eyeliner and mascara, and I think I may have been wearing false lashes there, but I'm not really sure. And my hair is just brought back because it's not about my hair when campaigning. The focus is on your face, your eyes, and your lips, your communication tools. Now, we've recently had an infusion of very thick brows, and here's my version on me of the influence of brows from our beautiful Mediterranean and Arabic sisters. Note how far in the brows have come into the bridge of the nose, and note the sharp angle of the arch. And also note the heavier eyeliner and winged approach. And you can see where the lips have been augmented just slightly. But do you see where this is now starting to go overboard, especially for someone my age, let's go back to this one. This is, I believe, far more appropriate for women of my age to look our best. This just doesn't work. Now, what I wanted to speak about here too was this is an example of microblading I've seen gone wrong, where you have young artists microblading, which can be a very useful approach to brows, but it's too far in, and it's too high, and it's too thick for the aging face. Again, take a look at the before picture and take a look at what we have here. And what happens when you don't have any of the rest of your makeup on? You're stuck with brows like this, and that's something that people don't pay too much attention to. Okay, so now we're going to bring in today's current, how we're being influenced. And that is our drag look. Note how the brows sit completely above the natural brow line. Note how there is white in underneath the brows to make it stand out more. The eyeshadow's been put on with a trowel. And there's a double set of lashes and a lower set of lashes as well. And note how the eyeliner goes right into the tear duct. Then we take a look at the lips and how they have been augmented to the point, in my opinion, of silly. And then, of course, the hair has been lifted to give it that bouffant drag culture look. And the final thing with the makeup here, as you know, I don't recommend contouring for the older face, but here I have highlighted under my eyes significantly and added contour under the cheeks, the sides of the nose, and put a little white dot on the nose. So that what it does is it kind of lifts the cheeks up and out. But let's go back to our look at the difference in just those few things. Look how it changes when the lips, the cheekbones rise, and the whole face seems to rise up, doesn't it? And let's simply go back to our we didn't want to go that far back to our first look in comparison. Now, between the before and the after here, there's also a space in between where just, strategically placed either mascara or gel liner and brows done a little bit with even skin tone and just approaching your lipstick more like a soft kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit like you've just, eaten some berries or something, just a kind of a little tappage of lip color. So there's that in between look too, but I'm bringing it forward more to this. Again, look at the changes, and again, look at the changes. So now I'm going to take a look at the four faces of Sharon Danley. When you see them all together like this. And let's get a closer look at just the three faces of Eve. Notice where the differences are, and it's, again, brows and lips make the difference, don't they, ladies? That's your communication tools. Now, I happen to think that drag influence on my face ain't that bad, but that's for theatrics. And I can tell you the first face takes about 10 minutes, the second face takes about 40 minutes, and the third face would take about an hour and 20 minutes to do. And that's just the makeup, okay? So now we take a look at what have we got here? Yeah, the three faces. Now, what I wanted to show you also was, where am I here? Why can't I get back on here? Okay. I'm going to remove this for a second and talk about, I don't know if some of you remember or not, but about 2 or maybe 3 years ago at Halloween time, I was going to do some faces for the older women for Halloween. Well, I can't tell you how difficult it was to find faces of older women that weren't mockery, that weren't really disrespectful, that weren't laughing at us. It was really hard to find, and the only place I could find them was with Disney, and that was the Queen in the Snow White story, who's a beautiful, but she was a mean person, and I think that was about it. That was about it. And I looked to other artists for some inspiration. So I came up with my own. So for those that don't remember, here's what I came up with for the 5 or 6 looks that I did. Now take a look in the ones on your right where there's a green eyeshadow. Take a look at the Queen of Hearts, how the eyebrows are arched, and how the one next to it, even though the eyes are a little bit more fierce, look at the difference of how when the brows go down in the front and they're highly arched, what kind of a message that gives. See the differences there? Now in the top one there, that's just like the French court, Louis XIV sort of French court, very white face, white hair, and nothing on the eyes really, but just a little bit of lip stain and a lot of blush. And then of course, then you can see on the other side there, look at how thin the brows are for the 2 versions of the flapper, the 1920s flapper. And in the tribal art, there's the brows going straight across. And then, of course, the Mikado look at the top. Look at how the thick brows there and the difference that can make. Now, also take a look at the different lip shapes and what they do. Now, I realize this is cartoon and character, and it's a little bit more than usual, but it gives you kind of an inkling, kind of an idea. Okay, it's time for questions. So let's see if anybody has anything. We have Kathy Kitterman, good morning, and Mary Moore, good morning, and Anne Rose, good morning, and Ruth Prothrow, and Shirley Wilkinson, and Donna, Rhonda, I should say, Dear Maker, I'm sorry. And you have a comment here. Oh wow, my goodness, that drag look is really something. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's the same face, but over the top. I did it because I wanted to show what happens when we keep following the influences that are being pushed on us, especially right now. They're really being pushed. And when they rolled out trans models for, some of the major houses in beauty and fashion, I have to tell you, it's not something that it doesn't help us. It doesn't help our age group, which is the largest demographic, ladies. We're the largest demographic, but, as you know, they don't pay attention to us, because I think the reason is because we are more discerning with our money. We're not so ready to just buy anything just because it's hot or it's new, or we want to be, first on the block to be wearing whatever it is. Okay, and Jackie says, good morning. You know what? There doesn't seem to be any questions or comments about this. It is, just anything at all. I'm really surprised, because if we don't have any, then I'm going to, move forward with some other things. So I guess that's exactly what I will do. Now, summary. In looking at all of this, know the differences between keeping current and being a devotee of trends. Okay? Do not let the trends influence you. Know your face, your lifestyle, and understand what's best for you and the most appropriate look for you. Okay? It's one thing to keep current. It's something else to follow the trend, off the cliff. Now, we seem to have a couple of other questions, so let me go back here and see what Tina Barrow has to say. Not sure why anyone would want the drag look. It's so unnatural. Yes, it is. And it's meant for performance, but if you take a look at where makeup is going with it, and using trans models, I can see where it's going, because it's opening up a whole new world of buying stuff to look at. When we are presented with a trans, that's a male who dresses as a female, to be our role model, we have a problem in my books. And Kathy says, if you look at a lot of brow tutorials, it's all thick, dark, and arched. Yes, it is. And you see, what's happening is, and I followed a few of them for a while till I couldn't stand it anymore, but they're looking to the drag community, who's showing how they do their drag makeup for what they do. And unfortunately, these young women are following and copying that. And so when they copy it, then others follow and copy them. Like, how many have seen when they do tutorials where they take concealer and put it on underneath and put concealer on top? That's because when males are wearing woman face, they have these brows that they have to try to, conceal, whereas we don't. It is completely the wrong approach for us. Thank you, Kathy. And Anne, since I have been using your makeup tips, I have many compliments. Thank you, Anne. Yes, exactly. Good makeup doesn't require a lot, and it doesn't require a lot of tools, and it doesn't require a lot of time. What it does require is just a period of time, like about a month, to study, to practice, to hone, till you get the look that's best for you. I'm glad to hear that, Anne. Thank you for sharing. Pauline, do you think taking collagen tablets improves the quality of skin, or is it just hype? Well, in my non-medical opinion, I think it's hype. There's so much of this stuff that is hype. Ladies, a healthy lifestyle. What does that mean? It means eating right. High water content foods with a proper balance of complex carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Drinking a liter of water a day. Exercise. Rest 8 hours a night. And stress management. They never talk about health. Being healthy should include stress management. Do all those things and apply the approaches to makeup that this channel recommends, and I think you'll find you'll be better. Look, this is a 73-year-old mug, okay? I don't take any of that stuff. I do take my vitamins. I've had a heart attack, so 13 years ago, so I take what I need for that. I do as much exercise as I can with a knee that is waiting to be replaced. But I think, and I stayed out of the sun, and I think for my age and for the approach that I take to makeup, it's respectful, it's good, and I get respect back because I present with respect, but with a strength, with a confidence that goes with it. Thanks, Pauline. And Nana W., thank you, Sharon. You're welcome. And Rhonda, I totally agree about not adopting a look that is not suited to you. If I started applying makeup in the drag style, people would think I've lost my marbles. Yes, of course they would. But women are so susceptible. And why are we susceptible? Because we have been propagandized to believe that we need to look younger. Everything we see is geared to the younger person or the younger femme fatale. And what does that do? It makes us completely entrenched with the feeling that we just aren't good enough, we just aren't going to measure up. That's what it does. And so what do? in order not to feel so badly, we'll buy whatever snake oil that they're selling. Just to help us, and then we'll start doing makeup like, well, these young YouTubers are doing this, and maybe it should be, maybe I should go that route, maybe I'll look younger. Bottom line, none of us are going to look younger. We're just not. So why waste our time, our energy, our self-esteem, our confidence on the elusiveness of that? Appreciate where you are now, accept it, embrace it, and make the very best of it that you can. No matter what you have to deal with physically, just do that, and the world will look and feel better for you. And we set a much better example, ladies, to the young women coming behind us. And Eartha Weston says, you are correct about not following trends. Thank you, Eartha. I appreciate that. And Ruth, thank you for your emphasis on healthy habits. Oh, you are most welcome, Ruth. I think it's absolutely essential. But they don't talk about that when they're trying to sell you a cream or a filler or something. Sheer Sparkles, question. Looking at the drag look and listening to your thoughts about their influence makes me sad for us older women. At the same time, it makes me long for the days when... Continued. Well, yes, and I understand where you're coming from. Think about it. Think about this then. Think about when, if you or others were, were pregnant. I can remember when my babies were born. I can remember after my daughter was born. I thought, oh, I couldn't wait to have another child. I loved the whole process of it. And when I look back in my 40s, I thought, why would I want to have kids now? Why would I loved that time of my life. I loved my little babies. I hated it when I got them up from a nap and I could see they had changed a little because they were growing. I love that. But they grow. Kids grow. Trees grow. Animals grow. We age. We die. And next. The trick is that I've found is to enjoy every stage as it is. How many of us have looked at a picture of ourselves, say 20 years ago, and we remember saying, oh, my thighs are 2, or my, makeup is 2, or my hair is 2, or whatever, negative at the time. But when we look back, we think, wait a minute, I didn't look so bad. I wouldn't mind looking like that now. Do you know what I mean? So the trick is to embrace where you are and make the very best of it. Appreciate it for what it is, and get the most out of life for where you are. Because if you don't, you're going to miss all the upcoming steps because you will be filled with regret rather than opening to embracing. And Anne says, knowing how to apply makeup is so empowering. It makes me feel more confident. I'm so glad to hear that, Anne. And yes, you are absolutely right. It is empowering once you learn the skill and the tricks for your own particular needs. Dune Park says, it is true that the outer ends of the eyebrows should not drop down, but rather point to the upper ear. Well, or is it true? Well, what it should be, and I think I've shown this before, but let me see if I can do this because I'm mirrored here. What used to be the trend was you were told to hold a pencil here to the edge of your eye and your eyebrow should come down to the pencil, right? Well, for us older dolls, I say use the corner of your mouth in line with your eye. Do you see how that brings it up? Because if it drops down too much, it pulls visually, it pulls us down. Okay? Those are one of the little tweakages that we do as we age to adjust our makeup. I hope that helps. And Corrine, I just found your channel. Wow, you're 73. You go, girl. Looking forward to more of your videos. Best of health to you. Thank you so much, Corrine. Yes, there is a plethora of videos for you to sit back and enjoy at your leisure. And what I love about teaching through tutorials is that you can fast forward, you can stop, you can rewind, you can pause, you can do all that stuff, whereas I don't rewind very easily. And let's see, and Annie Matus says, I am 75 years old and take estradiol hormones. I look 50 and I'm sure it's because of the hormone therapy. I also apply vitamin E oil on my face. Well, thank you for that, but not being medically licensed to recommend any internal anything, I wouldn't go there, and I wouldn't advise anybody else do it. When we are older, many of us are taking medications for a variety of reasons, and when you mix other products with that without any kind of medical oversight, you could be causing problems. So and it's fine. I'll tell you, for me, I'm not interested in looking younger than I am. I am what I am, and that's all I am. But I'm making the most of what I've got right now. And that is the ticket. That is the ticket to a happier, more fulfilling life, in my opinion. And Sheer Sparkles, 2-4, we were younger and be bold with our makeup. But do you have any suggestions about finding the middle ground? How to have a classic polished look, yet a touch of boldness? Well, let's take a look at these two pictures, shall we? Let's bring them up, or these three. From the second one, from the first, not the no makeup one, but the makeup one. You can get a little bolder, but there's an in-between that and the second picture where the eyebrows are arched. If you want to get a little bolder, wear a stronger lip color and wear a little bit more mascara or false lashes, and just intensify your eye makeup. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Going too far, it's a fine line for the older gal to look a little bolder for special events or whatever, and going overboard. We have to be very careful, or we can look, in my opinion, and as a master artist, not our best look. So it's a study. 3/4, I'm on the verge of turning 50, and I feel sad that I'm entering into a time when there are things I can no longer do with makeup that I could before. Yeah, exactly. And guess what? There's a whole bunch of new things you can do with makeup too. There's a whole bunch of new ways of wearing your lips, or your lips or your makeup, your eyebrows, everything that can. Listen, I can remember when I decided to embrace my gray hair. I had just retired and I decided I was going to embrace it. And I had just gotten to the point where my look, shall we say, at that age, and I think, what was I, 63, I think? Yeah, 10 years ago. And I really liked how my makeup and everything was looking, And I knew then that it was going to take me about 5 years to hone my new look, because I had to experiment, I had to try a bunch of things, and I had to figure it out, because there's nothing for older women that warrants watching or listening to, in my opinion. So I did. I experimented a lot, and I share those experiments with everybody. But I can tell you, if you take a look at my transition that's up on my channel, you can see the differences. You change, you adapt, but you have to experiment, you have to try. And this is where your selfies will help an awful lot. So take lots of selfies when you're playing with something. And something might not work all the way on one thing, but then you can take part of that idea and adapt it to something else. So, it can be fun. It all depends on your outlook. And For your last question, wear a red bold, wear a bold red lipstick and blue undertone as an everyday look. I'd love your thoughts on looking good, but still being playful and creative with makeup. Well, okay. What you have to consider is, what is your lifestyle? Do you go to business? Do you work at home? Do you do you garden or farm? What kind of business are you in? Are you in film and television or any of the, that end of things? Are you in accounting or finance? Are you in medical? Are you higher learning? Are you in engineering or something like that? Each business has its culture, and you want to look to those cultures to be to fit in with still having your own style. Now, when you're going to a special event or things of that nature, that's a different ballgame. And as far as blue undertones are concerned, wearing any undertone. I believe most people can wear most colors, but the trick is to limit them. Is to keep them subtle, so that your eyes and your mouth, your communication tools, are the things that people gravitate to. They're not, when they're talking to you directly, they're not, being having their eye cast down to your red shoes, as an example, or anything else. You want them focused right here. Now, if you're trying to influence people, if you're a public speaker, if you're a teacher, a professor, anything of that nature you want to influence, you want people looking at your eyes and your lips, because you want the message that you're sending them to be right here, okay? The other stuff, the fun stuff, that's fine for fun events, but I wouldn't do it for business. I hope that answers your question okay. And Maria. Hi, Maria. I entirely agree with you. I just enhance whatever is there without changing my image. I certainly like your tips on makeup, and I love your appearance now. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Maria. Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing, ladies. I like my look now too. I mean, I can give myself a variety of different looks. Well, when I embraced my gray hair, I had no idea I was going to end up with wavy hair as well. So I can go curly or I can go straight very easily. That was a bonus. The other thing was that with so much experimentation, I honed my makeup in a way that I can do so fast and easy, and I feel so confident in it. Lots of things that can be achieved, and instead of looking at what was, embrace with what is and make the most of what is. And Anne says, my voice teacher asked me yesterday in repertory class if I had children. I told him yes, and grandchildren and great-grandchildren too. Wonderful, Anne. That's funny. And Geraldine, I gave up wearing makeup because I considered my face old and ugly. Now I'm getting back into skincare and makeup at 64. Thank you for a new time. Bravo, Geraldine. You see, your statement there just makes me so sad. And so many women feel this way. I feel old and I feel ugly. Where do we get that from? Because we are given no images, true images, of women who are older, who own themselves, who are something to be inspired and empowered by. And I'm really glad that you've decided to throw off the shackles of that thinking, Geraldine. Bravo. Stick around. There's lots of stuff here for you. And Cynthia says, hi, Sharon. Well, hi, Cynthia. Whoops. You know what? See? Cheers. That's just me. And Shirley. Fine line between classy and trashy. Yes, there is. Yes, there is, Shirley. I have to concur. And Corey Shaw, thank you for sharing your wisdom about accepting aging and appreciating each stage of life. I'm 42 and I'm having a hard time with my face and body changing. And God willing, I've got 40 more years. Yes, Corey. Yes, I remember myself in my 40s. 40s is a tough time for women because it wasn't that long ago we were in our 30s and we're queens of the world, so to speak. But 40s, a lot of changes start to happen, and then it kind of throws us off. And in 50s there's more changes. That's when things start getting really physical, you know, with our bodies internally and that sort of thing. And then there's the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and stuff, and it's so on. But keep at it, Corey. Keep at it. And, if this is you and your daughter in your picture, lovely picture, all it takes is commitment, practice, and patience, and you will realize your goals. Believe me. And Cynthia says, do you ever use self-tanner? No. Never, ever, 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 ever. And my reason, and just in case you wanted to know what I really think, I thought I'd emphasize it for you. Excuse me, folks. I'm a Caucasian, as an example. I'm a Caucasian. I have white skin. Why would I want to change it? Our black beauties have dark chocolate skin. Why would they want to change it? Our Japanese and Chinese sisters and Spanish sisters have that wonderful olive undertone to their beautiful faces. Why would they want to change it? We are a wonderful mixture of color and culture and differences in how we look. Why would we want to copy something else? Do you know what that's all about, right? That's the makeup or self-tanner industry selling us product that we don't need. Okay. Now, I was overzealous, but thank you, Cynthia, for the question. I appreciate it. And Rhonda, yes, the most of where you are now and enjoy the process. Thanks so much for the YouTube videos, Sharon. They are so great and I'm learning so much from them. I'm glad to hear that, Rhonda. That's wonderful. And Mary Moore, I'm 60 and embracing my silver hair. I'm so glad I watched you because it's beautiful and I get many compliments. Bravo. And guess what? You're going to get lots more along the road too. Wonderful, Mary. And Sheer Sparkles. Thank you for your amazing and wise advice. I so appreciate it. And thank you right back. I appreciate your kind words. And Sheer Sparkle speaks to Geraldine. You need to start a YouTube channel sharing your makeup experiences as you are learning new things. Okay. And Mary, sorry, realized my photo was old hair. Just updated. Thanks. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yep. And that's another thing. We want to keep, we have to keep updating our faces. Like I said, these pictures that I've used, they were taken 4 years ago. So every 5 years you need to change your picture. You need to update it. And I do, given the work I'm doing right now, I tend to have a lot. So anyway, but do update your pictures. It's important. And remember, those selfies are the best teachers in town, besides getting good advice. Plump Angel, I love your passion. You're an original, so strong. Thanks for sharing. Oh, well, thank you. That's very kind of you. And Ira, I just found your channel. I will binge watch some of your videos. Okay, I'm glad you like. Well, it doesn't seem. I'm glad we had a chance to go through some of the questions here. I hope everything was answered okay. Now remember, ladies, if I haven't answered it, that you just put the comment in the comment section below and the video, and I will bring it. I will answer them. I will be sure to answer them. Now, I just wanted to remind people that for those that aren't familiar, to please like and share this YouTube channel. Please like it and give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I am not monetized in any way, shape, or form, so my word doesn't get out there. So if you could do that, it would be great. Now, for those who are interested in my political leanings, you can find me on my advocacy channel. And here's a little thing to reminder to please like this video, because of the algorithms of YouTube and Google and what's going on right now. Those of us, that aren't monetized, don't make any money. I just freely share. Then it makes it really hard for us. Now, you can also follow me on my 2 Facebook pages. This is my beauty channel page that is public, and this one is for those going gray and loving it and aging, and it is a closed page. And I also do make betters, as you've seen on some of my other lives that I show, and you can submit a picture to either one of those channels to get a make better done. Now, I want to also show you that if you're searching for something, because there's I think there's getting close to 400 videos on this channel. If you go to the main page, you can see where there's a search there, and there's playlists. So you can put in something like brows, and all the videos I've done on brows will come up for you. Or you can go to the playlists, and there's a variety of playlists for different things that you can click on, any one that suits your fancy. And I've got one on performance, and I've got one on vocal power and modern day etiquette as well. So given that, let's take a look at our quote for today. Trends come and go. Classic timeless beauty is always in style, ladies. Always. So, thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you. And remember, please take good care of yourself for where you are now. Take good care of your loved ones and the little world around you. And if you've benefited, please pay it forward in my daughter Andrea Main's name with your own time, talent, or treasure to someone in need in your corner of the world. Okay? We'll chat soon. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.